If you had to start all over again, what would you do?
As a barber?
As a barber.
Bro, honestly, first thing I do is, yo, Wagwan. It's Dr. Tama and my business partner, Upinda. This is my brother right here.
Will we get copyrighted?
Fuck it. Nah, yeah, you're probably right. Oh, nah, they probably can't even hear the music. Yo, so, we just got off live. We're actually giving away this JRL tool set on live for the Expo for Barbers this weekend. And that actually kind of sparked some inspiration for us to set up the camera and kind of just talk about like what's going on. Obviously, we've got the Expo for Barbers event this weekend. It's both of our first Expo for Barbers event. First international event where we're going to be talking about the social blueprint for barbers, teaching people how to scale their business to $10,000 a month, regardless of where you are and how many clients you have currently. So, Kaz, what are we talking about in this YouTube video? Tell the people, bro.
I reckon we talk about why education, no matter where you are, is important, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you always need to be fucking learning, otherwise you get left behind.
Yeah, you hear that shit? If you're not learning, you get left behind, bro, and that's so true. I was at a point in my career where, this was last year, I was at a point in my career where I was like, bro, I was already doing like 6 figures in my business, and I kind of like wanted to like do more, bro. And so investing in people, investing in courses, investing in personalized one-on-one education from barbers, from social media marketers was a huge thing. And that's kind of what helped my business explode, low key.
If you had to start all over again, what would you do?
If I had to start all over again. As a barber?
As a barber.
Bro, honestly, first thing I'd do is buy a ticket to Dr. Thomas' class, low key. That's the first thing I'd do.
Yo.
Nah, honestly though, first thing I'd do is get really fucking good at cutting hair. And the only way that you're gonna do that is by getting the reps in, bro. After I had gotten in a sufficient amount of reps and I actually had some sort of like skill to be able to market, not that you need it, because there's some barbers that are out here that are fucking rubbish, bro, and they are making a killing from posting their stuff on social media. I would document my entire process of going from a shit barber to being a really, really good barber, and I'd invest every single dollar that I earned, every single dollar that wasn't going towards living costs, expenses, into education. I would learn. I would pay every single dollar to whoever I could, whether that be a mentor, whether that be education one-to-one, some sort of coach, to make sure that I actually upskill in every single part of my career, whether that be barbering, whether that be social media marketing, whether that be branding, anything that I could do to upskill. I would spend every single dollar that I earned that wasn't going towards living expenses, and I'd put that into my education so that I would get better. The other thing I'd do, and I think it's an important point, and you probably got something to say about this as well, is I would literally lock the fuck in and do nothing for like a minimum of 2 years. Like minimum of 2 years, bro, especially if you're trying to make it as a barber. And I think these rules apply to anything that you do. But as a barber, you don't need to be going out on the weekend. Doesn't matter who you meet. You need to be leveling up in your skills so that you get good enough at cutting hair, so that you get put in the rooms with the people that actually matter. And then you also need to be like working day in and day out so that your clients know that you're there. They know that you're always like there for them. Because one thing I think that goes like hella overlooked in a barbershop business is like client loyalty, client LTV. LTV is everything, bro. The reason why Netflix makes so much money is because they always have people coming back every month and buying their service. You know, it's a what's it called? Subscription-based model, bro. Alex Hormozy, one of the greatest entrepreneurs of our time, bro, always says if you want to never run out of business, make your product so good that people continue to buy it. He also, I'm paraphrasing it, but he also said like it needs to be sticky and it needs to be something that people need.
Instead of a want, make it a need.
You know yo. Well, heck, everyone needs a haircut, right?
Exactly.
Everyone needs a haircut.
Why would they come to you?
Exactly.
Be the person who's got all the skill to solve their problem.
You need to make it really good, and then make them always want it. You know what I mean? So if
how
that
you
means you
get
push their hairline back and it fucks it up, they're gonna have to come back, right? No, I'm kidding. But make it good. How do you do that? Oh, join the lab. Join the barber lab. Link in the description. Or invest every single dollar into your education. That's exactly what I would do. That's actually what I have done.
The moment
To make
you
a
stop
killing.
learning, you stop winning, bro. You know
Yo,
what I mean?
100%.
And like in terms of what you said, like you gotta lock the fuck in, right? You can either live like a couple years uncomfortably, and then like let's say you live like 5 years uncomfortably, but you can live the rest of the 50 years, whatever, comfortably, right? Or
Yeah.
you live 50 years comfortably, and then the last 5 years you're like fucking like yo, no retirement funds, no this bullshit, all this shit, you know?
Yo.
Gotta lock in, bro.
Yeah, bro. It's like 2 years of complete and utter struggle for 50 years of freedom, or 2 years of freedom for 50 years of struggle. You know what I mean? Like, you have to do one or the other. One of my favorite quotes is like, choose your hard.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Each path that you take is going to be hard, but I definitely know which path I'd rather take. I would most definitely rather take the path that's going to be like hard right now, easier later, instead of the other way around. The way that I learned that is from going to the gym, bro, or doing training, any sort of training. Training is always going to be hard. Showing up is going to be like easier over time. You know what I'm saying?
How's the barber lifestyle like? If you working into barbering, like what's that lifestyle like?
Honestly, bro, in my opinion, it's like freedom, bro. It's like freedom. I can work on my own hours, as many hours as I want. I can make as much money as I want. It's a physical service. Yeah. So like the only downside to this business is you're limited to your time a little bit, but then you just get into like teaching people things.
Or content creation.
Content
you know?
creation,
like
you
you don't
know?
have to chase, you start attracting.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Exactly. Like all of your clients will come to you eventually if you build it the right way. I also think that like supply and demand is like a huge thing in our business, you know, like if you always have like demand for your services, you'll never run out of business. You'll never run out of money, ever. You know, there's always going to be some sort of demand for your business. And then the way you make more money from that is by raising your prices over time. Say you can cut 10 heads a day and you cut them at $50. That's only, what, $500? If you raise your price because you're booked out every day for weeks in advance, you raise your price $20, you just make an extra $200 a day, and you're cutting the same amount of people, and you probably lose fucking no clients. Because end of the day, there's other barbers out there that are charging the same price, if not more than you, and they're doing a shitter job. So it's not hard to stand out in our industry, bro. You just have to make sure that you are doing your best at all times, investing in your education so you continually get better. They say that if your business isn't growing or your skills aren't growing, they're dying. So make sure they're always growing. How do you do that? Cuz tell.
Just lock the fuck in, bro.
Yo, lock the fuck in and invest in your education. Invest in your skill set, bro. It's the most important thing that any young man, any young barber can do ever in their life. Because take away my studio, bro. Guess what I have? I have my skills. I still know how to market myself. I still know how to cut hair really well. It doesn't matter. Take away my social media. Guess what? I'll start again. I'll do it again, bro. I'll do it again. I'll do it better. I'll do it faster. I'll do it bigger. Because why? I learned how to market myself through educating myself like externally. I learned how to bring demand to my skills and my services.
So why do you think documentation is so important as a barber?
Bro, this is a great question. This is why he's my business partner, bro. So the reason why I think documentation is so important as a barber, bro, anything, to be honest. If you're a PT, if you're a cook, you could literally do any job. The reason why documentation is so important is because people follow people. People don't follow results. People don't follow whatever. People buy results, but they follow people, right? They follow who they can relate to. They follow stories, right? So if you're documenting, if I was like a completely beginner barber and I started posting completely beginner barber content, like, yo, look at this fade that I fucked up. People like that shit. People can relate to that shit. People want to see you win because you started where maybe they've started. Or maybe people just want to follow you.
Underdog stories.
Yo, underdogs, bro. People love the underdog stories, bro. They're so underrated. We're actually working with a client right now, shout out Naeem, who's just joined our barber lab, and he's like, I ain't even gonna lie, bro, he's probably cut like 20 heads in his life, you know? But he's so hungry, he's so driven, he wants to be able to do this stuff. And I was like, bro, the first thing that you gotta do, your skills, bro, like cutting, go and record everything that you do. Record every single haircut that you do. Record every single client interaction that you do. People want to see how much better you get over a long period of time. Say you've posted your first 100 videos, right? 100 days worth of content. You on day 1 versus you on day 100, people can visually see how much better you've gotten over that 100 days, right? And if they find you on day 17, for example, and then they scroll all the way to day 100, they're going to be like, this guy's gotten pretty good in this short amount of time. What an underdog. I like this shit. I'm going to click follow. And guess what? That could be dollars in your pocket, bro. That could be a client in your database. And if it isn't, if it's a lady, for example, that follows you, maybe she's got a son. Maybe she's got a husband. Maybe she's got a brother that needs a haircut. You know what I mean? And that's 2, 3 people in your database. So, bro, documentation is so important because it just goes to show that people will follow you not just for your skills, but for who you are, the story you have, the progression that you're going to have, and like, what's the last thing?
Just like authenticity.
And the authenticity of your journey, bro. My beautiful wife is bringing us dinner right now, so I'm gonna jump off. Latest.